Yo, what's going on, Nomads? Welcome to episode 16 of the Backspace Nomads Podcast. My name is Brian. Of course, the other host for this podcast is Monica. Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm great.
That's your hello for this one? Usually at a goddamn 11. This one, it's...
I'm really upset that you're calling me Monica because I have a symbol for my name now. I am the artist formerly known as Monica. Okay.
Dude, that reference is so dated.
So am I. We talked about this on the cast before.
Sure.
So, but yeah, if you guys want to find out more about my new name, you can just look up Stussy, which will also date me.
I don't even know what that is, and we're the same age, dude.
Oh, you know what a Stussy is.
I don't know what a Stussy is. It sounds like a dessert.
Come on, like every okay, hold on. I have to draw a Stussy for fucking I have to do this.
All right.
I have to do this.
There's
I did it backwards. Oh, I fucked it up. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've drawn a Stussy.
Is that the S from middle school?
Yeah, dude.
That has a name, like the S with the 3 lines, and then you connect the dots. That's a fucking Stussy.
It's a Stussy, dude.
All right,
it's a fucking Stussy.
Every day you're learning something, huh? It's so nice.
Yeah. I teach you all the most important things. If you were in the 90s.
Yes. Gosh. On the pod today, we are going to be reviewing Atomine. Then I'm going to be taking a quiz from Monica to find out what kind of gamer am I. And then we'll come together and discuss the top 5 RPGs from our childhood. So, Stussy's aside and name changing aside, how has your week been, Monica? What's up?
My week has been just dandy. I tell you what. I have...
I will tell you something.
I have... been getting hounded by my clan in Conan because I haven't been playing because freaking Gwent has taken over my life. I haven't stopped playing Gwent. I have now invested money into Gwent.
You too?
I have a fucking problem. I'm like, oh my god, Gwent's gonna be my next game of war where I am just broke because I'm putting so much money into it.
Nice.
So yeah, my clan mates on Conan are very fed up with me. And yesterday, it was yesterday, I decided I could play a little bit with them. And so I only played for about an hour and a half. And they were like making me, like, they're like, oh, we made you nice weapons and stuff, and trying to get me to go back into the game. So I log in and I take all my new stuff. And then I decided that I was just going to go meet up with some other clans who were arguing, and I forced them all into a friendship circle. This is a PvP official server, by the way. Yeah, this is a PvP official server. Anyone can join. It's official. It's not PvE. Yeah. So. And I met up with them and I forced them into a friendship circle. I made them talk about their feelings. They didn't have many feelings, but they talked about the ones that they did have. And then I unleashed to them my feelings about my clanmates. And of course, as I'm talking to these people in the game, I'm also on Discord where my clanmates can hear everything I'm saying. And I'm like, and I'm telling them these intimate details. And I'm like, oh, yeah, BP, he's just really making me feel bad about myself. And these guys are like, you can join my clan. And I'm like, I can join your clan. This is great. So anyway, I did have a fun jump.
What a traitor.
I know.
You're cheating on that relationship. I've always had the advice where people are like, if you're divulging information to another person and not your significant other, you're cheating.
I'm emotionally cheating on my clan, yeah. I log in and they tell me I'm only allowed to use the iron weapons, and we have lots of steel, and I help make all of the steel, and I want to use the steel weapons, and you know what? I am never allowed to. And now suddenly I'm allowed to because I put my foot down. But you know what? The harm is I haven't recovered from it yet. Yeah. The trust has not been repaired.
I think you broke the trust. Why are you trying to recover?
No, I didn't break it. They broke it with their constant betrayal of allowing me to use the weaponry that I helped create. It's very upsetting. I do love my friends. I love playing with them. I always obviously do this to just harass and bother them. And it works.
They listen and they just get really insecure about themselves.
No, they yell at me. It's great. I love it.
I did notice you though in our Discord server. I seen you pop on with the dudes, and I was like, "Oh, that's been a while since you was on Conan."
Yeah.
So, how are the Chinese?
Sometimes I just pop in there while I'm playing other games even, and just talk to them. Oh, the Chinese are gone. They're all kicked out.
What happened?
They put a patch out where they blocked VPN and they landlocked the servers.
Fucking got him.
So there's all this stuff going on. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't listened to the other episodes, you won't know this drama with the Chinese. But let's just say there is drama. There was drama with
high drama, not like tension. Tempers are flaring, and I can't believe it got resolved at this point.
Yeah, well, it was more so like the other clans are all full of 16-year-olds that are very racist. So they just said horrible things. To the Chinese people.
I wonder why they all battle over you. Just a bunch of like horny 16-year-olds. I hear the girl voice. I am going to get her a clan, sir.
Oh man, it was fun though. The friendship circle was fucking great. What about you? What have you been up to?
So Overwatch, I hit a point in Overwatch where I'm finally climbing the competitive ladder again, and
is that because less people are playing? I'm just kidding.
Don't take this away from me, all right? I am a Overwatch master. Well, I haven't hit master yet, but I got up to 3,300, which is my all-time career high. And let me tell you, the level of play there that you have to be at is phenomenal. The bullets you have to dodge, the maneuvers you have to make. I am a competitive god right now in Overwatch, and I don't know where it came from, but I'm taking it and I'm running with it. It's the most fun I've had in a competitive game in years.
Are you going pro, dude?
I'm trying to. I know I'm a little bit old for that career path, but
oh my fucking god, I would love to see you in on a team, and it's just like all these like 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and then you,
and then me.
And it's you after work, like you're done.
Yeah,
you're still in your work clothes. You're like, oh guys, fuck, I almost didn't make it to the competition.
I show up in my chef fatigue, my chef jacket. I'll even put on like the corny chef hat jacket on, like, hello, I'm here.
Oh, I'm here, guys. Sorry.
I'll just apologize to my girlfriend. Like, I know we're living together, but I have a chance to go live in this gaming house and take Overwatch competitive. All right? Can we just put this on ice for a little bit?
I'll write you.
Yeah, like I'll Skype with you every day. It'll be fun. You can watch me in the scene. Other than that, I watched Guardians of the Galaxy, which was unbelievable. I don't know how much of a nerd you are with movies and comic book movies.
I haven't seen it. I saw the first. I heard mixed reviews on it. I heard that it was kind of just repetitious of the first, but in a try-hard sense.
I could see that. I think it's like the perfect sequel. I like the first one better. I don't think you can ask for much from a sequel. It expands the story, adds new stuff. The music wasn't as good, but that's only because the first one was like one of the best soundtracks of movie history. But then you got the majestic unicorn, Kurt Russell. I will show up and watch that motherfucker in any movie, from Captain Ron to goddamn Guardians of the Galaxy.
Kurt Russell is your melting temperature?
Oh, you don't even know. I swoon over Captain Ron. His line, and like when he's just like, I think they're waving at me, boss. That's like my quote in high school. If they wanted to quote me, or if I was there for them to quote me. You
quoted Kurt Russell in high school?
I would have had I been there for the yearbook. But let's say I missed a few days. But if they came to me, I think they're waving at me, boss, would have been my quote for the yearbook. All right? I love Kurt Russell. I think that dude is just the absolute attitude that you need to have in life. He rides it. He's cool as fuck. He looks good. He has fantastic hair, and he flies spaceships now. He does it all. He's a triple threat, and I love that guy.
So, did you like Kurt Russell, or did you like Guardians of the Galaxy?
I'll take yes. I'll take both of those. Yes, I like both of them. I think it's great. I'm a bit of a movie snob, but I have this like weird space in my head for comic book movies. I don't take them as seriously as like real movies. I don't want to say real movies.
You can't
as like
you can't
art
take
house
them
movies.
seriously.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's like art house movies, and then there's comic book movies, and I think like they are the final realization of like summer fun movies. Like that's what a comic book is. It's that in its highest form. And I love Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I seen it the night it came out, and it's everything I wanted it to be. I stayed up into the wee hours to see it, and I wasn't disappointed. It's very nice.
Well, I'm gonna go see it, I think, within the next week. So now I have the highest of standards, and I'm sure I will not be let down.
You won't be. Captain Ron brings it. Kurt Russell
I'm ready.
delivers. All right?
I'm gonna bring my lotion.
What? I don't even know what that means.
I was thinking about if I... Oh, never mind. Let's not get into it.
Are you sure? Because I got time.
No, we're good. Let us go into Atomine.
Atomine.
The game that we review.
This beautiful little game, Atomine, it was released May 4th from Broken Arms Games. Atomine is a twin-stick procedural shooter roguelike set in a virtual world with minimalistic design where the player recounts on the screen the real events of Stuxnext, the first weapon ever created in the form of a computer virus. This is developed and published from Broken Arms Games. What did you think about Atomine going in it? What were your expectations?
So we reviewed a game a while ago called Warcube.
Yeah.
It was also like a visually looking downwards at a similar angle. You're also playing this cube type character. And so when you look at Atomine, you're playing a little cube character and you're shooting things, and it's that same kind of looking down, at an angle into the world. And I was expecting it to be somewhat similar. Also, just looking at the way that the combat looked in the trailers, I was expecting it to be somewhat similar to that. I forget which episode we reviewed that on. But I really liked that. Maybe it was 4. I really liked that game, though. So I had really high expectations for this. I was hoping that this would be a lot... Well, it is a completed game. When we reviewed Warcube, it was in very early access. And I was hoping for this to kind of fill the void that I felt with Warcube being in early access. What about you?
Yeah, this is like, as you said, like this is one of the rare times where we have reviewed a fully completed game. This is what they want you to experience. I'm a massive fan of the roguelite genre. I think it's one of the highlights of like the new genres kind of created in gaming. I don't know if it's necessarily like a brand new one, but I love that genre. The simple design, like you said, reminiscent of Warcube. I was really excited to see what this game was just going to be, because if you strip everything down and give you a basic roguelite, like what can you do with that? So I was very excited to go into this game. What were the kind of things you were looking for or that you liked about Atomine?
Okay, so first off, I have to say that you'll get this even from the trailers. The music in this game is like ridiculously intense. Like to the point intense. Where like, it feels like you're supposed to be almost like gyrating and like dancing in your chair and like probably gritting and grinding your teeth and might be on some type of hard drug. Yeah. I don't know.
I definitely did not have the right drugs available for this soundtrack.
Right. But like it's weird because the design and the art and everything isn't super intense, but you are playing this like virus, and so I really thought that the music was fun.
Yeah.
Almost to the point where you get used to this really high intensity music and it just becomes you. And it pulls you in and you feel like I am a virus. I am like, I don't know. I am
a virus. Hear me roar.
I am the virus. So yeah, I don't know. It was good. It was a good soundtrack for me. Dude. A little repetitious. But I enjoyed it.
I'll jump in right on that with you. Like, this is like a deep drum and bass house music soundtrack. It's thumping the whole time. What it really does is set up this like fast-paced action that it lets you get into, without sounding
Feels
too
frantic.
Yes, without like sounding too like dumb about it. Like, you're on the edge of your seat while you're playing it. Like, at any moment you're gonna run into something you don't want to do, and it never stops. And I think that soundtrack like perpetuates that. I think that the next thing I really loved about this was the weapon system. Kind of a staple of the roguelike genre is your weapons and your abilities kind of morph and take on whatever you pick up. In this game, when you pick up new items, it gives you an option in the menu to go through like 4 separate categories and mix and match while you're doing it to put together unique combinations of these weapons. Maybe you can upgrade from a blaster to a missile, but then you can go into a separate category and go from having like a double shot to a triple shot, augmentations that let you bounce shots off of walls. Like, this game really brings it in putting these combinations of weapons together, and I really love that about this game.
Yeah, I agree with you actually. That was on my top 3 for sure. Just the customization and like the randomness of the weaponry that you can create was awesome. The last thing that I really liked about this was, and maybe it's partially fueled by the music, but the pacing of the levels. You are able to make progress fairly quickly.
Yep.
You will die, or at least I
die?
think you will die. I died a lot, but like, you are able to really make a fast pace of the levels, and so it feels right alongside the music. You feel like you're going fast. You feel Sonic fast. I don't know why this is so funny to me, but it really just does. It feels like you are like, almost everything feels urgent.
Yep.
And I think that the pacing of the levels, you don't have to kill an exorbitant amount of enemies in order to prevail. And I think that works for it really well.
It really does. And like, the pacing of it is spot on. And I think that it kind of adds, like, my last thing is that this game is challenging, and like, it doesn't back away from it being challenging. We have a YouTube channel where we put up like the first 30 minutes of the gameplay that we play through this game. And when you brought up like that you're going to die a lot, you die all the time in this game. I think the first 30 minutes of this gameplay that is on our YouTube channel, I don't think I got past the second level for that first 30 minutes. It was just, this is a learning curve. And until you figure out what it takes to get through the monsters and what combinations of weapons are good and like how all the systems work together, this game is challenging. And the developer doesn't help you out. Broken Arms Games, like, they know the game they want to put you through, they know the gauntlet they want to put you through, and you're going through it, and you got no choice. And so I really loved about that. But let's step away from things that we liked and let's move into things that we kind of disliked.
So I guess you're saying that the difficulty and the death was something, the challenge was something that you enjoyed. I felt that it was a little bit too punishing in some regards. I think for the person that is wanting to, get that trophy or that feeling of receiving a trophy at the end of a level, this would work well for them. But it's really difficult, or at least it was for me, in other games where you're starting at one point, you're trying to get to the end of a level. I'm thinking, this isn't exactly the same type of game, but like Hotline Miami, you can learn the pattern of your enemies to a certain extent and progress. I didn't feel that same learning curve here. And I think that was a frustration point for me. I wouldn't consider myself a super competitive gamer. And so I do like a challenge, but I don't necessarily like to be whipped into submission. And I feel as though this game was being a little hard on my back. You know what I mean? Like,
I can see that. I enjoy the punishment of games, so
right. I feel like if you could understand the maybe the pattern of the enemies more, or whatever it would be to, or even if it started off a little bit kinder and then progressed, because there are levels in this game. And so for it progressed, and bosses, by the way, I don't know if that's going to be on your list of things you didn't like, but there are levels and bosses, and if I feel like it could reward you a little bit more up front and then punish you a little bit more down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sounds weird now that
I know.
talked about whipping.
When you were saying that sentence, I was, she's walking a high wire act right now. I don't know how she's going to land this.
Good lordy. I
thought you got out of it. I thought you got out of it.
Oh, I feel like I'm just crumpled on the ground, broken and bloody.
It could have gotten a lot worse. I know that. I'll jump in with like the enemy thing. I think that some of the enemies, they anticipate where you're going to move, and it's a little bit too hard, definitely early on. By the second level, you have enemies shooting lasers at you that like they're predicting where you're going to be, and they hit you most of the time. And you like once you start understanding that, you can navigate away from it. But I think a lot of the problems that this game has with difficulty kind of stem from the UI. I think the UI for this game definitely needs an overhaul. For all the good things that Broken Arms games do as a developer, their UI and like their communication about what's going on with your character throughout the game definitely needs a tweak and needs to look. It took me a long time to figure out what my HP bar actually was.
Right.
And it was not only is it the similar color or the exact same color as like your XP bar for leveling up, it's like in the same exact position. I didn't know which was which, and it took me really thinking about it and sitting down and like taking desks to understand the mechanics of this game, and I don't think that's the best version that a developer can present to you. I think another thing, my one big point on minions in this game, there is a minion that spawns from the ground, and it is way too difficult to see where they're spawning at. You run into it, and you're losing like half your life from like one minion because the developer didn't like give you a heads up that this guy was going to rock your world. So what's another dislike for you?
So this is a really weird one to say, because one of the things that this game totes is a unique design, and at first I was excited by it.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because because the game is difficult, and so you spend more time on the levels. But where initially I was excited with it, shortly I was less content being in the same atmosphere.
Yeah.
And visually, there's a lot of the most color is going to be coming from like the weaponry, from your bullets, from the attacks coming towards you. That does help. It does allow you to concentrate on your attacks versus your enemy's attacks. But I don't know. The design itself became a little bit tedious. The idea itself became a little bit tedious, and it's weird to say that because that's one of the highlights of this game too. It's unique in a way, and to say that it's one of the things I didn't like feels wrong, but I think it's just because of the amount of time I had to spend on a level.
I'll agree with you on that. Like the first 3 levels, which you'll spend the majority of the time on, they are the exact same design, I believe. I don't think there's a lot of variation in it. There are like 2 or 3 types of traps that are just like color variations on a octagon type of symbol. This game, until you get to the 4th, 5th, and 6th level, I think there are, that's when like the colors start changing. But other than that, it's pretty much a light blue ground with a dark gray borders and walls hanging around you. And did you have trouble seeing the cursor when you're shooting enemies and stuff?
No, but that could also just be a part of me not knowing what the hell I was doing.
Okay. See, like they have options to change the colors, and I definitely had to go in there and adjust the
I didn't do any customization like that.
Oh yeah, I had to get in there and I guess I was making the game easier, but the settings were there for you.
Yeah.
Did you complete a game of this? Like, did you make it to the final boss?
I did, but no, I didn't make it to the final boss.
Okay.
Why?
I was just wondering your level of depth with the experience that Atomine brings you.
So, God, why are you putting me on the spot like that?
We're on a
I don't want
podcast.
to talk about how awful. I don't want to talk about how bad I am at this. So I made it to the 3rd level. Okay.
3rd level? That's great. I don't like the first. So did you see the first boss?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you make it to the 3rd boss? Is what you're saying? Or past the 2nd boss?
I made it to the 3rd boss.
Okay, gotcha. I see what's going on now. Yeah. Did you enjoy the bosses?
Yes and no. I mean, the last thing that I didn't enjoy about the game in general was kind of the simplicity of it. For the shooter, the way that the game is designed, I didn't feel like it was necessarily really adding anything.
Okay.
I did like the fact that the bosses were included, which made it a little bit different than just leveling. But I also didn't feel as though anything new was really being included. I mean, for the most part, you're just shooting something,
Right?
And things are just shooting at you. And there are, some traps. There are different types of enemies. But it did feel a little repetitious in that sense.
Yeah.
But were the bosses not your forte?
No, I think I would agree with you that they're very simple in design, and it's weird when you're making like a roguelike game because you are standing on the shoulders of games like Hotline Miami, and you're standing on the shoulders of Binding of Isaac. And in Binding of Isaac, the boss fights were way more unique and way more involved than just like doing what you normally were on the maps.
Right.
And that's what the boss fights were. You're doing what you're doing on the levels, just in a more closed environment.
Yeah, it's a different. I mean, it throws you into a different environment, which is nice in comparison to like what you're seeing on the levels.
Yeah.
But so I think that the freshness of that helps a little bit.
Right.
But in general, it doesn't bring enough to the table because the bosses themselves didn't really look unique.
Right. Not at all. And I think that kind of like, I think my overall biggest complaint about this game is, oddly enough, getting the hang of it. Once you understand what weapons are good, once you understand how to attack enemies and like their kind of simple patterns, and the bosses like very simple pattern, this game gets over very quick once you understand what works. And in other roguelike shooters, you can understand what works, and it doesn't mean you're executing it. In this game, for whatever reason, you're executing it easy. And I spent probably an hour and a half to 2 hours on the first 3 levels, and probably 20 minutes on the second half of the game. I flew through it. And I think that's my biggest complaint. It's just like the learning curve is so steep, but once you're over the hump, like you're going 5 more minutes. It's very shallow after you like get over the main curve of learning.
Do you think that occurs because of the fact that it doesn't necessarily become significantly more difficult? Like what I was saying, like if it had leveled, you would say, okay, I'm good at this, but then it would have gotten more and more difficult. Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I really do. Maybe you should go develop games for a living.
Oh my goodness. I should. I've got an idea. Someone call me.
All right. Hit up Backspace Nomads on Twitter, dog. All right, so final thought for Atomine. Where are you sitting at with this game? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
So one thing we didn't mention yet is right now it's a $10 price point.
Right.
There are so many games that come out.
There are.
And it is hard because $10 isn't a lot, but when there are so many games, how do you spend your $10 the wisest? I'm going to go ahead and give this game a thumbs up. I don't know that it's one that I'm really going to frequent a lot. So when like I play a game, or if I buy a game for $20, but I can go back into it and play it over and over, I feel like I've got my money's worth.
Right.
With this one, I am a thumbs up. I think overall it's a good game. I think that they do a good job with it. It's easy. I think it would be easy to go in and play a certain amount of time and step away and go in and still feel, because of the music, because of the pacing, because of the extremeness of every level, I feel as though you could go in for 30 minutes and feel content, like you had just accomplished something.
Right.
But I would recommend buying this on a sale. Or maybe in a bundle.
I think there is a bundle with it.
Really? Okay.
I think so.
Well, if that's the case,
don't quote
me.
I know I'm like recording on a podcast, but don't quote me on that.
just record them and play it. But I think that would work. I think that you would enjoy the game. Like, if you got it in a bundle with other games, it would be one of the winners. Buying it for $10 yourself and playing through, I don't know. If it's your type of game, you're going to love it. If it's not your type of game, then you might want to just leave it alone.
Yeah. I'm going to have to like kind of be around orbiting what you said. I can't give this game a thumbs down. For $10, it delivers. It's a roguelike shooter. There are still more elements of the game that I haven't played. I was playing around with kind of the blaster class. And the different types of characters they give you, and there is more depth to the game that I haven't gotten to yet. Am I going back to it? Maybe not. But if you're a big roguelike shooter fan and you want to try something different, and you've spent you've bought all the other roguelike games, and you have another $10 sitting around, go ahead and pick this game up. You're going to enjoy it. You might love it more than we did. They deliver on what they say they do. I just don't. It's definitely not the best roguelike shooter in the genre, but it's definitely not the worst. So I can't give it a thumbs down. So I guess all I have left is a thumbs up. So so that's Atomine from Broken Arms Games. It was released May 4th, 2017. You can pick it up on Steam for $9.99. And let's go ahead and cut to intermission real quick. And when we come back, I'm going to be taking the quiz from Monica. And then we're going to be sharing our top 5 RPGs from childhood. Be right back, everybody. Welcome back to Backspace Nomads. Thank you so much for sitting through that intermission. On the second half of the show, we are going to be doing 2 things. The first thing we're going to be doing is I'm going to be taking a quiz from Monica to reveal what type of gamer am I. And then we will both be discussing the top 5 RPGs from our childhood. So the quiz, what are you doing to me?
So I feel like the internet is inundated with quizzes now. If you
nice
haven't
Scrabble
profiled,
word.
Yeah, if you haven't profiled yourself at least 50 times in order to figure out who you are as a human, who you are as a lover, who you are as a spirit animal, then something is wrong with you, or something is very, very right with you. But we're gonna go ahead and go with wrong.
Wrong, definitely wrong.
I've been concerned for a while that Brian isn't a real gamer, or what kind of gamer is Brian? Like,
the best.
I look at him and I think, what kind of gamer are you? And so I saw this quiz online, and it's gonna tell us, thankfully. So let's just go ahead and jump into it.
Let's do it. I'm that type of gamer.
Here. Yeah, there are a few questions here
All right.
to help figure out that type of gamer. Yeah, exactly. So,
all right.
What do you do when a smoking new game system comes out?
Fake Nation.
Do you hope a friend gets one so you can check it out?
Mm-hmm.
Do you start saving cash but keep a couple $100 for munchies and stuff? Do you ask for one for your birthday so that your friends can come over and play with you? Or do you mow lawns, walk dogs, and save your allowance so that you can buy one the day it comes out?
All right, mowing lawns, walking dogs, too much activity. I don't have many friends. So I'm going to start saving that cash. But I'm going to keep a couple of bucks for munchies because I like to drink a little bit. And when you drink, you're going to be eating some tacos and some nachos. We know this.
Okay. Fair enough. Second question.
Thank you.
How would you feel if your friend constantly restarted the game whenever he started to lose?
Oh, my friend, do you mean my brothers?
I think he'll never get to the final level. I wish he'd cut it out. We're playing 2-player and it sucks for me. He's not even having fun. He should do something else. Or if he only has fun when he's winning, that's his thing.
If he's not having fun, then he should fucking do something else. Because my time is precious. And if me beating him in a game isn't fun for him, and then go outside and mow the lawn and walk a fucking dog.
Got it. It's Friday, and school and or work just let out. What do you do? See if my friends want to get together to play video games. Chat with my friends and see what's up for the weekend. See if I can get a date.
Ooh.
And then head home and play a game before dinner. Or get home, unpause my game, and finish beating the last boss.
I'm going to have to say that I'm going to see if I can get a date. And if that happens...
You're scandalous.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to get a date, but then I'm going to go home and play my game. I like work-life balance.
Okay. How much time... We will see what kind of gamer you are. How much time do you spend playing games each week? 5-ish hours, at least 20, 5 to 10, depending on what else you're doing. 5 or less, and depends on if you get bored.
At least 20. More when I don't have homework, or when I do. I am a gamer.
What kind of homework do you have, Brian?
Me? I can't even talk about it. I'm so excited. I'm overwhelmed with how much homework I have. So I forget about it. I go play video games.
I understand. What's your favorite kind of game? Good games. I don't care. As long as it's awesome. Quick games. I don't want to be stuck playing for hours. Games with a lot of items to collect, massive levels, and huge bosses to beat. Or multiplayer games. If I can't play with a friend, it's not happening.
I'm gonna go quick games. I got a lot of things to do in my life. I don't got time to be sitting around for 67 hours like I used to. I need a quickie. I'm in and I'm out, and then I'm back into my job doing things.
Oh my god, I feel like this is... I cannot wait to see what kind of gamer you are. Your friends want to get together and play games all Friday night.
Trick question.
That's cool. I'm bringing some pizza and my new CDs.
What year is this?
I don't know.
Yo, I'm bringing some pizza and I'm booting up Spotify on the Bluetooth. All right, motherfuckers.
Okay, yeah, you're using Spotify all night. I'll show up for a bit, but I have 3 parties to go to.
Wicked, dog.
Wicked. I'm bringing 2 extra controllers and 4 more games. Or, I guess, but they'll just end up asking for my help all night long.
Yo, my dudes, wicked. I'm bringing 2 extra controllers, 4 more games, and 6 more fucking parties. That's who I am. You know that's your boy.
You're gonna bring 6 more parties to the
party.
Okay. Oh my goodness. PS3 Expo. We're dating it. We're dating it right now.
Yes, I know.
You know what? We're skipping this question.
No, we're not.
Oh my god.
I love to play with my Wii. All right. Over the Xbox 360 or PS3, my Wii is the favorite one.
All right. This next question's bad too. DS, GBA, or PSP? What's your favorite handheld game system?
Dude, what drug are they asking me to do? I guess PSP.
GBA.
PSP is the closest, I guess. So we're going to go with that one? Yeah. What?
Okay.
I have a dark past. I'm that kind of gamer.
Okay.
I'm the gamer you don't bring home to mom.
Have you ever been grounded for playing too many games? And I guess this could mean put in the doghouse too, like with your lady. Once or twice, but the games were so cool, it was worth it. No way. Yeah, but only because we were making too much noise. Twice this month, my parents/girlfriend sucks.
Twice this month, my parents, but not my girlfriend's nice trap, sucks.
Do you use cheat codes? Yeah, they're great for unlocking more options. I know them all, but I don't need them. Who the fuck knows all of the cheat codes but
Real
never
gamers,
uses
dog.
them?
Real gamers.
Oh my god. No, if I get stuck, I'll play a different game. Or if I get stuck, I'll totally cheat.
If I get... Oh, God. If I get stuck, I'll totally cheat. If this is a single-player game and no one's being hurt, if it's a multiplayer game, I guess somebody's being hurt, but it's not me, nerds.
Okay. So, congratulations. You're an active gamer. You want to have fun, and video games are a great way to have a ton of fun. But so is hanging out with your friends, playing a few sports, taking music lessons, and maybe doing PCP and go hiking with your mom.
Yeah, some frisbee golf.
Yeah.
Maybe some fidget sticks or whatever, the finger fidget things.
Yeah. Dude, you're an active gamer, though. That's
Thanks.
Cool.
I guess
you have like a well-rounded lifestyle. I mean, you kind of called that out at the beginning here. So
all the audio podcast listeners can't tell this, but the people who watch us on Twitch and YouTube can. I'm a very active person. I have a slim profile. I'm built. I'm fantastic looking. So yeah, I think this quiz is spot on. Thank you, Kids World. Thank you.
By the way, we did get this. We got this quiz off of Kids World.
Spell with a Z. Kids World.
But there's a reason why we decided, kids. God. There's a reason why we decided to do this, though. We want to put together some more quizzes for you guys. We think we could put some fun questions together, some more ridiculous scenarios. And
they're going to be radical.
They're going to be so rad, way more rad than Kids World. So if you give us a follow on Twitter, we'll be posting the quizzes on there. You can follow us at Backspace Nomads. We promise that we'll be better than the one that we just went through.
Can you get better than that?
But just as accurate as this one, with calling Brian our slim, fit,
active
co-host, active.
I don't know how I have time for all these games with all the ladies I just have to beat off and get away from.
Yeah.
How do I put this podcast together? It's a question for the scholars.
I don't know. You know what? You should write a how-to on it.
I will.
How to live your life. The life of you.
The life of an active gamer.
Yep.
From
for real.
Brian. So that was ridiculous. Let's go into a more, I guess, not as radical topic. Maybe our top 10 RPG list, or I'm sorry, top 5 RPGs from our childhood.
So, yeah, I mean, we were just talking about, we just pulled that quiz off of Kids World, and now we are going into our childhood, and we are feeling out the RPGs that made our childhood great. I think the way we're going to do this is I'm just going to say one of mine in no particular order. It's just in the top 5. And then Brian will either say it's on his list. If it's not on his list, then he will say one of his. And then we will, have a little discussion. Together? Yeah, decide
try
which
to lock
one
in
really
a list.
Belongs there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Should I go first?
Please, ladies first.
Okay.
I am a gentleman.
All right. So, you know what? I want to save this one. I'm going to go for, in my top 5, I know this is kind of either or, but Pokemon Red and Blue.
Pokemon did not make my list at all.
Oh, it didn't. Okay.
No, man. All right.
Okay. So
I'm gonna
give me
go.
one of yours.
I'm gonna go with the obvious one. Chrono Trigger.
Ah, okay.
Oh, this is gonna be a long segment.
So Chrono Trigger did make my list.
Okay.
So I can't argue with you because Chrono Trigger was on my list for sure, for 100% sure. I loved Chrono Trigger. I loved my favorite attack in Chrono Trigger was Provoke. You can have the girl provoke the enemy and she twirls around and pats her butt. And I don't know how that's provoking. I tried doing it to kids at school that were upsetting me. It didn't provoke them, but it did make them leave me alone. So
they didn't understand their feelings yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I legit, no joke, would twirl around and say provoke and slap both my butt cheeks.
All right.
And it never took any hit points off. I don't understand. So I'm with you on Chrono Trigger.
What kind of parent-teacher conferences meetings do you think went on? I don't know. She just keeps jumping around and smacking her ass, but she's only 6. I don't know what to do with this.
To be honest, I feel as though most of the weird things I did just didn't get discussed. They were kind of swept under the rug.
No one's got time for that.
Yeah. So I guess you've got to give me another one of yours and see if it's not on my list.
Okay. I know this one will not be on your list 100%.
You don't know that.
Saga Frontier.
Oh my god, that's totally on my list.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm kidding.
All right, you can go fuck yourself.
So I guess Pokemon Red and Blue is up against Saga Frontier. So right. I have to say, for Pokemon Red and Blue, the reason why that one's on my list is because it's just so quintessential, I feel like. I mean, I feel like What?
I don't even think that's an RPG. Like, I guess when you think about it...
Why wouldn't that be an RPG? You're playing a character, you're going through a storyline.
Man, it's so weird for me to think of Pokemon as an RPG because the driver for it isn't the story or your character leveling up. It's about your Pokemon leveling up and you catching them all. For some reason, there's a disconnect from there for me about it actually being an RPG.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong in viewing it as an RPG then.
You know, I've seen top lists before. I don't think you're wrong. I think I've seen Pokemon on these types of lists before, but I'm a purist, and I don't think it made my list.
Okay. So I guess the reason why I view it as an RPG is because you are taking on the role of a Pokemaster, and that's your main goal is pursuing, Pokemon mastery.
Okay.
And meeting new characters, and there are storylines and stuff, but whatever. I'll say it's light. So why is yours?
Saga Frontier. I don't know if you've ever played it or heard of it. It's a very I guess I would say it's kind of an obscure RPG. It's not one of the most popular ones. It's from Square, back when they were Squaresoft.
Did you put this on your list to be a hipster?
What if I did?
Your fucking glasses.
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I have very modern glasses. If you want to call them hipster, that's you. That's your label, not mine. Saga Frontier, you could choose from 1 to 7 characters while you played. All of their stories interacted. All of their stories informed each other. It was like Game of Thrones before... I guess Game of Thrones or A Song of Ice and Fire, the novels, I think were out when this was, but think of that in your head. There are multiple storylines going on. You can play as multiple characters and go through their storylines, and playing that informed and enhanced another character's story. The leveling up system was fantastic. The way you learned abilities was unique. Saga Frontier is kind of my niche. This was a really great RPG that people missed, and they should go back and look at. If this isn't on the top 5 list, I don't know what a top 5 list is.
Well, then you must not know what a top 5 list is, because I feel like that is not on any list that I looked up.
You're not getting into the cool like club on this list. This is definitely the dive
hipster
bar.
club.
No, the cool dive bar that everyone wants to know
Where the
about, but
hipsters
they
hang
can't
out.
find. You know, it's just like, man, this bar is really cool. How'd you find it? Oh, you know, I didn't hang out with people when I was in middle school.
That's cool. All right.
All right. So let me get one of yours.
All right, we're doing it. Oh man, I'm gonna hold off on. I keep coming to one, and I want to say it, but I'm not going to. Okay, so the original God of War is on my list.
God of War?
Yeah.
Is that an RPG?
How is God of War not an RPG with Kratos?
That's a platforming slash and hash game. That's how you say that, right? Slash and hash.
How is God of War a platform?
You're jumping around. Oh, you have a very broad definition of RPGs, I think.
With Kratos.
Yeah.
God of War.
Yeah.
And he's literally running through, like, I think you're drunk.
I'm not.
He's running through.
I've been drinking, but that doesn't mean I don't have my wits about me.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, let me say this. Is
He's
God of
running
War
through temples. He's fighting minotaurs. There's not.
Okay, so it sounds to me like this is Crash Bandicoot with blood and RPG elements.
Oh my god. This is totally an RPG to me. This is an
Alright.
RPG to you?
Not at all.
You view this as a platformer.
Yes, hack and slash. I'm not even like trying to take away from it. I think it's a very fun game. It's one of my favorite games I've ever played. But when you say RPG, I'm not going in on this. I won't be part of this blasphemy.
I think that PCP is hitting hard, man.
Look, don't worry about what I do before the podcast, all right? Say in the show.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, God of War,
Right, God of War is on my list.
What am I? I view it as an RPG.
Okay.
For sure.
I'll accept it. The court allows it.
Okay, the court allows it. Oh my god.
Into evidence.
Okay. I view it as an RPG. Again, I feel like I am going maybe off of the incorrect type of list here, but for sure, to me, I'm playing a role. I am moving through a world. I mean, in that case, it's not on your list, so I'm going to go ahead and say, is Zelda Ocarina of Time not an RPG?
Ooh, that is an RPG.
Okay, what is the difference between Zelda Ocarina of Time and God of War, where you're going through temples and you are fighting? Because Zelda Ocarina of Time is also on my list. That was the next one I was going to bring up.
I take your point. You have a strong point here. This is a massive stroke. I feel like I've been set up. I feel like you baited me into this.
I'm just saying, Zelda, you fucking fight a bunch of shit.
I will say Ocarina of Time is much more open world and more roaming, and that you can kind of almost choose the way the narrative progresses, while it feels like God of War, you're almost on a track, and it's kind of like a roller coaster.
So, in role-playing games, you have to be in an open world.
Yeah, you can kind of backtrack, go back to towns, go find other inventory items you left behind, collect stuff, go back and buy them. God of War, you are forward progressing. You don't have a gear shift. You're not going in reverse. It's full force forward. You're a jet plane.
In Pokemon, you can pretty much explore different areas and everything, but that one's not a role-playing game.
I'll give you that as a role-playing game. I don't think of it like that. I never did, but you have swayed me on Pokemon. That is an RPG for the ages.
All right. Well, I've said two of mine, so give me some of yours.
I'm going to give you the granddaddy of classics, Final Fantasy VII.
That is not on my list.
What is
I didn't
wrong
even
with
like
you?
Final Fantasy VII.
You didn't like Final Fantasy VII?
I didn't love it.
All right.
I liked 9 though. I actually I thought about putting 9 on my list.
How do you like 9 more than 7? What
I don't know.
is it about that?
I don't know. I think I'm a little weeaboo and I like those like chibi characters.
More
little monkey
whimsical
tails and stuff. Yeah.
I'm a weeaboo. Weeaboo is my
Yeah.
favorite word to come out in the last like 3 years, by the way.
Dude, weeaboos have been around for way longer than
The
3
term
years.
has not been popular like that though. Like
No, probably not.
yeah, like I'm someone who's versed in the gaming world. I learned about it within the past year, and like I've been around. I'm an old
Okay,
man.
something's wrong with you then, because literally, have you ever seen the Perry Bible Fellowship?
Nope.
That's a webcomic, and they talk about paddling weeaboos, and I swear to God, that was probably made like 7 or 8 years ago. So
All right, I don't get out there a lot. I'm sheltered.
that's true. You're too active.
Yeah, I'm too active. These things pass me by.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
just out there playing
you're just
sports
out
all the
there.
times,
Yeah.
throwing that football, slapping that hockey puck,
And throwing the pigskin around.
throwing that pigskin
my
around,
God.
man.
All right.
All right.
So Final Fantasy VII, though, that's a good one. That's a classic.
Yeah.
I understand. I think you have 2 left, right?
Yes,
Okay, you have to give me another one.
I will give you I would say Squaresoft's most complete, masterful piece of work, Xenosaga.
Oh, that is not on my list.
All right.
But I always wanted to cosplay as Cosmos.
You should.
I was. No, I am. No. That time is past. That time, the chance of me doing that has passed.
No,
okay?
look, you can do whatever you want in life. I learned that
Oh
from
my
Richard
God.
Simmons.
No, look, here's the deal. I was going to cosplay up until I was around, and I never did it. I went to a few anime conventions, never went and cosplayed, and I was going to cosplay up around the time I was about 25, and then I was like, oh, I could do it, and it would be a little ironic, whatever. And now I just need to wait until I'm 80 so I can just fucking freak people out.
You
And
get the
that's what
gray
I'm
hair?
waiting on now. Yeah, no, I'm waiting. I'm waiting on like really being like revealing and like sexy until I'm 80, and then I'm just gonna bust it all out again and then not give a fuck. But
For all the
between
fetishes out there, that's what it's
Yeah.
when it comes back around.
between now and 80, nothing is happening. I'm like covering myself. Okay. So no, but yes, agreed with you. That was a fucking fantastic game.
Okay.
All right. So the one that I saved for last, I don't even know if this would be my number 1, but it for sure is one that I did not stop playing until I beat it. And then I played it through again and did not stop playing until I beat it again. And I'm talking about staying up for like 2 days here.
Fingers crossed.
It is Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. You are not
Okay.
looking excited.
Okay.
Dude.
You know, I it's me. It's not you, it's me. It's
Look, don't try to break up with
just-
me right now.
I realized something about my soul that isn't the same as yours. That's all.
You're a weeaboo,
Yeah, I think I might be.
and I am kind of. But no, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance was one of the best RPGs I think I've ever, still to this day experienced. I
It's
got
very
so soaked into that game. I could not believe it. And what's crazy about it is I didn't really expect that. I started playing it, and before I knew it, it was 2 a.m. And also, I need to point something else out here.
Okay.
My mom was really, my parents were really strict with electronics. And so we constantly had games taken away from us. And my brother made I would say, the equivalent of a box-spaced office in his closet. So it was hidden, and we had a computer in there and some other things, and we could move stuff into it and use the closet so our mom couldn't find us playing. And I was so obsessed with Baldur's Gate at this point that I literally hung out in the closet for like 24 hours. I came out, I was like 5 pounds slimmer.
The smell was ripe.
I was, like my butt could have grown mushrooms. Like,
should have cosplayed.
And it was from that game. It was, I love that game. I think it's one of the best RPGs.
I remember countless nights. Some of my best gaming memories come from like Baldur's Gate, I think I like Icewind Dale better, but that's only my own personal preference. But it's a similar type of game. I think that my headspace when I think about RPGs and kind of childhood is just kind of different from you. I was a Japanese RPG fan, JRPG for all those in the lingo, because my last one is another SquareSoft game. Okay. But to think about like Baldur's Gate, like you are right, there are some incredible American RPGs out there that I just kind of left out of my psyche. My final, but not my top, just my final one on my list to reveal would be Final Fantasy Tactics. I think it brought tactics gaming to the masses. The class system was fantastic. The story was top notch. Art direction phenomenal. As a young pixel artist at the time, I was completely in love with everything going on in that game, and it has to be on my list because not only is it an RPG, but it just brings a completely different type of RPG than everything else on my list. Everything else is kind of your standard RPG done in its best forms, but the tactics genre is so much different than the turn-based RPG style that Final Fantasy Tactics.
I never played it. Don't look at me like that.
It's hard. Okay, I'm just not gonna look at you because it's hard for me not to look at you like that. Final Fantasy Tactics is fantastic. How have you not played Final Fantasy Tactics? But God of War makes your motherfucking list. What is this? What are we doing here?
If God of War was profiled as an RPG, it's so fucking amazing.
No!
I guess
if God of War was an RPG, it would not make the top 50.
Oh my god, it totally would. You're fucking crazy. You just don't want to have sex with Kratos as much as I do.
No, I would not enjoy having sex with a Kratos. You're correct about this. You pegged me on that one, Monica.
Oh god, don't say peg. Jesus Christ.
All right.
This is turning into fuck, marry, kill.
I would, peg, marry, kill.
So out of your list, which would your number one be?
Probably Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is not my first experience in gaming, but my first true gaming love. And even though we don't see each other a lot, I think back about our time we spent together and what could have been. Chrono Trigger, I think for a lot of people, not just myself, I'm not some unique butterfly, really defined the genre and is what a old school childhood RPG should be.
So I think out of my list, Baldur's Gate, for me personally, is probably one of, if not the most nostalgic, but maybe also I have to take into consideration that I'm looking at a very weird scenario with that game. Most people don't have to like shuffle away into a closet in order to like, beat a game.
You were the Harry Potter of Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, so I guess what I would need to say here is that Zelda Ocarina of Time is going to go ahead and be my number one. I mean, it's hard to beat that.
Strong stroke, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to beat that as an RPG. I think a lot of people, and I'm not just thinking about myself here, but in general, a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia. I know I certainly do, playing it with my brother.
Yeah.
And so yeah, for sure, as far as like top childhood games, I'd list it as my number one.
Okay. I know we discussed kind of trying to bring our list together and forming a super list. I don't think it's possible. I think our games are too far apart, too set in stone. I think we have a lot of strong contenders, but I don't think that we could compile this into one definitive top 5 list from your childhood. I think
right, and especially since some of yours are wrong, so it's hard.
When you say definitive words like wrong, you're really not opening yourself up to the world. You're really closing yourself off there. So I'll just, you can sit with that. That's you. That's your thing. That's you. That's not.
That's me. I'm wearing it.
Right.
It's a badge. I just wrote it.
Just a awkward God of War t-shirt from like the rock band. You're like the rock mom who still wears like an old t-shirt and it's like, I'm cool, right, kids?
Yep. That is me. What's wrong with that?
Nothing, no.
I'm a cool mom, right? Like, I'm cool. I'm cool. I need to have kids, but I'm a cool mom.
Yeah,
right?
you're gonna be a cool mom.
Yeah.
You're theoretically a cool mom. All right, my dudes, that's going to do it for episode 16 of the Backspace Nomads podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Backspace Nomads. We run a makeshift blog, backspacenomads.blog, and you can find us live on Saturdays at twitch.tv/Backspace Nomads. Next week, we're going to have Mandroid from the Fan Drunk podcast join us to share his time of game and be our wonderful guest for that episode. But for this one, this is all we got. It's over with. See you guys for the next one. Bye, everybody.
Bye.